Hi, welcome back for another video. No lesson or cover today. Today I'm going to be mixing it up and I'm going to be doing a list of my top 20 albums of all time. I own most of these on album, and the ones I don't I'll be looking up on Spotify to give you some track listings. I'm going to try to go quickly through them. If you want more in-depth analysis on albums or anything like that, please let me know, but let's get right into it. And at number 20, I have two albums by one artist. I have Reasonable Doubt and Blueprint by Jay-Z. These are my favorite hip-hop albums of all time. I think they're the two of the best hip-hop albums of all time. So Reasonable Doubt, standout tracks I have Can't Knock the Hustle, Politics as Usual, Brooklyn's Finest, Feelin' It, The Evils, and 22 Twos. All amazing. This album is just full of amazing flow, amazing wordplay, great writing, great producing. The Blueprint. My favorite tracks are Takeover, Izzo, Heart of the City, Never Change, and Renegade. Heart of the City is my favorite song on the album. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. I believe that is produced by Kanye West with his soul samples. That is one of the best samples I've ever heard. That's one of the best beats I've ever heard. If you don't know that album, please give it a listen. Number 19, I have Thriller by Michael Jackson. This might be higher on some people's lists, but to me, this album is just a little bit dated. The instrumentals on here just full of the drum machines of the 80s, the synthesizers. I know a lot of people like that sound, but to me this sounds like 1982, and some of these songs just are just a little bit dated. But the hits on here are fantastic. Wanna Be Starting Something, The Girl Is Mine with Paul McCartney, Thriller, Beat It, Billie Jean, Human Nature, PYT. My favorite song on the album is Human Nature. I can listen to that song over and over. 18, I have three albums. I have the three albums by Jimi Hendrix and The Experience. I own two of them. I have Are You Experienced? And then I also have Electric Ladyland. I do not own Axis Bold as Love, but on Axis Bold as Love, we have Little Wing and Bold as Love. That's all you need right there. On Electric Ladyland, we have Crosstown Traffic, Voodoo Child, and Voodoo Child's Slight Return, Little Miss Strange, Long Hot Summer Night, Gypsy Eyes, All Along the Watchtower. All outrageously good tracks. And then on Are You Experienced, a ton of hits. Purple Haze, Manic Depression, Hey Joe, The Wind Cries Mary, Fire, Third Stone from the Sun, Foxy Lady, and Are You Experienced? These albums came out so fast in succession, I just grouped them together. So let's keep moving on. At number 17, I have Van Halen's first album, Van Halen. It came out in 1978, and if you listen to it, to me, to my ear, this is the sound of the 80s, and it came out 2 years earlier with Van Halen. The Eddie Van Halen's guitar tone, David Lee Roth singing, the drums, the bass work, the melodies, the harmonies are all there. And then just not a bad song on here. To me, all great songs. This is the best hard rock album of all time. You Really Got Me, Jamie's Crying, On Fire, Running with the Devil, I'm the One, Ain't Talking About Love, Little Dreamer, Feel Your Love Tonight, Atomic Punk, Eruption, and Ice Cream Man. Moving right along, 16, I don't own this album, but I do own her greatest hits. I'm going Tapestry by Carole King. Very influential, 1971, so early in the singer-songwriter era. I Feel the Earth Move, So Far Away, It's Too Late, Beautiful, You've Got a Friend, Will You Love Me Tomorrow, and then Tapestry, and You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. All amazing songs. Carole King, to me, is one of the best songwriters of all time. I think she is underrated by the public. Critics really love her and really give her praise, but more of the general public need to listen to this album. It is just fantastic from top to bottom. 15, I have two albums again. I have Led Zeppelin 2 and Led Zeppelin 4. On Led Zeppelin 2, it starts off with Whole Lotta Love, which is just an amazing hard rock song. And then we have What Is and What Should Never Be, Thank You. I think that's one of the most underrated songs of all time. Heartbreaker, Living Loving Maid, Ramble On, just amazing. And then Led Zeppelin 4, I have Black Dog, Rock and Roll, Battle of Evermore, Stairway to Heaven, Misty Mountaintop, Going to California, and When the Levee Breaks. I just couldn't decide between these two, so I just put them together. Led Zeppelin's two of their best albums, neck and neck in my personal opinion. That's why they're on here. 14, I have Rumors by Fleetwood Mac. Standout tracks to me is Dreams, Never Going Back Again, Go Your Own Way, and The Chain. The Chain is still covered to this day. Dreams still covered to this day. Never Going Back Again. The guitar work on that by Lindsey Buckingham. Lindsey's guitar work on this whole album is just fantastic. Extremely underrated guitarist to me. Stevie Nicks is rightly acclaimed as one of the best songwriters of all time, and she shows it on this album like no other. 13, I have In the Wee Small Hours by Frank Sinatra. One of the best pop standard albums of all time, and one of the best jazz vocalist albums of all time. His first team up with Nelson Riddle for a whole album. He had a single before that, but Nelson Riddle is the arranger and the conductor, and I'm sure the producer. He just took it to the next level when it comes to these arrangements, and Frank Sinatra just knocks it out of the park. This is considered a concept album. All the songs have to do with loneliness, lost love, and sadness, melancholy, and you can just see that expressed right here on the album cover. You may not know a lot of these songs, but to me, the standouts are In the Wee Small Hours of the Morning, Mood Indigo, Can't We Be Friends, and What Is This Thing Called Love. Frank Sinatra's vocal performance, it just hits you right where it should. B.B. King listened to this album religiously, and he said, if you want to know the blues, listen to this album. So take B.B. King's advice on that. Speaking of B.B. King, at number 13, I have Live in the Cook County Jail. A lot of people go Live at the Regal as B.B.'s best album, but for me, his singing is more mature. His guitar playing is not as fast, not as ferocious, a little toned down. Even the tone is literally toned down. It's more of a woman tone. He rolls off the high end. I think his playing is just full of taste on this album. Again, his singing is just amazing, and his songs and his band are just right there with him. And their performance in the jail, it's just got a great, great vibe to it. Number 11, I have the White Album by the Beatles. This is the album that just keeps on giving. Standout tracks to me, Dear Prudence, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, Happiness Is a Warm Gun, Blackbird, Why Don't We Do It in a Row, Mother Nature's Son, Helter Skelter, Revolution, Cry Baby Cry. But every song on here, I find my new favorite song every time I listen to it. Okay, number 10. Let It Bleed by the Rolling Stones. A lot of people say Exile on Main Street is their best. I don't think so. The best is right here. Let It Bleed, Midnight Rambler, Give Me Shelter, You Got the Silver, You Can't Always Get What You Want, Live With Me, Monkey Man. My favorite song is Midnight Rambler, but every song on here is just killer. Classic Rolling Stones, classic blues slicks. Keith Richards, top notch. So is Mick Jagger. Number 9, I have Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Again, if I just list off the first side, Funeral for a Friend, Love Lies Bleeding, Candle in the Wind, Benny and the Jets, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, all right in a row. And then we have a couple of the deeper cuts that I absolutely love. Sweet Painted Lady, Dirty Little Girl, All the Girls Love Alice, and then Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. It's not a deep cut, but that's just on side 4. Amazing, and I just love the presentation of this album. You have the lyrics right there and some pictures to go along with each of the songs. Number 8, Modern Sounds in Country Music, Volume 1 and 2 by Ray Charles. Ray Charles, one of the best vocalists of all time, one of the best performers of all time. The guy created soul music literally, and then he is also just a great country singer, a great country interpreter. My standout tracks on here are You Are My Sunshine. You will not find a better version of that song. Take These Chains from My Heart, Your Cheating Heart. If you listen to Hank Williams and then Ray Charles' version, there's no comparison. And Teardrops in My Heart, just on volume 2. Okay, number 7, Born to Run. I had to bring the boss on here. It was between Darkness on the Edge of Town and this album, and I gotta give it to Born to Run. Timeless. Thunder Road, 10th Avenue Freeze Out, Night, Backstreets, Born to Run, She's the One, Meeting Across the River, and Jungle Land. All masterpieces. My favorite personal on here is Jungle Land. That is just a complete epic of a rock song. Number 6, Pet Sounds. Extremely influential. This, inspired Sgt. Pepper. Everything Sgt. Pepper that inspired. You can draw it back right to here. Wouldn't it be nice? Don't Talk, Put Your Head on My Shoulder. I'm Still Waiting for the Day. God Only Knows. I know there's an answer. Those are the standout tracks to me. But every song on here, amazing production, amazing instrumentation, amazing singing. Brian Wilson is a genius. Top 5. Number 5, Dark Side of the Moon. Every track on here is just amazing. So, Speak to Me, Breathe, On the Run, Time, Great Gig in the Sky, Money, Us and Them, Any Color You Like, Brain Damage, and Eclipse. You can throw this album on, listen to every single track, and just enjoy it. My number 5 album of all time. Number 4, I have Kind of Blue by Miles Davis. This only has 5 songs on it, but he introduced modal soloing in this album. The sound production on this album is just unparalleled. A very, very quintessential album to pop music and jazz. Please give this a listen. Even if you don't like jazz, you will like this album. Number 3, I have Sgt. Pepper. Now I'm going to go through this track list real quick. I'm sure you know it. But the title track on there, Jimi Hendrix heard it one time and he had to cover it. And then we have With a Little Help from My Friends, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, Getting Better, Fixing a Hole, She's Leaving Home, When I'm 64, Good Morning, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, Reprise, and then A Day in the Life. This album could not be more influential to pop music. It just elevated pop music to a whole nother form of art. Number 2, I have The Wall. This is the greatest concept album of all time. The social criticism on this album, the personal songs on this album, how operatic it is, how thematic it is. It's amazing. I could go on and on about this album, but I'm sure you know it well already. If you don't, please give this a listen. Every track, right in the row. You will not be sorry. And number 1, I have Abbey Road by the Beatles. This is, to me, the best album of all time. The songs on here, Come Together, Something, Maxwell's Silver Hammer, Oh Darling, Octopus's Garden, I Want You, She's So Heavy, Here Comes the Sun, Because You Never Give Me Your Money, Sun King, Mean Mr. Mustard, Polythene Pam, She Came In Through the Bathroom Window, Golden Slumbers, Carry That Weight, and then the end. Those 3 songs at the end, how they're woven together, just to give one sound, how it brings back the melody from You Never Give Me Your Money, the guitar soloing in the end, Carry That Weight. Again, the songwriting, the singing, the production, George Martin did an amazing job. All the Beatles were outstanding on here. George Harrison stepped up his game big time with Something and Here Comes the Sun. Paul McCartney, to me, this is a Paul McCartney album. Those last 3 songs are just all him. His singing on here, his songwriting is unparalleled. This is his best work. I know he's got a ton of it. You can argue Sgt. Pepper, you can argue Revolver, Rubber Soul, but to me, the way this album is laid out, I can listen to every song on here over and over, never get tired of it, never get tired of the sound production. This is my number 1 album of all time. I hope you enjoyed that list. I hope you agreed with some. I hope you disagreed with others. That's what makes music so great. If you did disagree, leave in the comments. If you want more in-depth lists, I try to keep this around 10-15 minutes for the first one, but if you want me to go more in-depth on a couple of these albums, let me know. If you want more lists, please let me know too. I will be doing top 10 or top 20 guitar players of all time also coming up very soon. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was as fun for you as it was for me. I love putting this list together. I loved going through all my albums. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.